Hey folks, what's up? Welcome to my September 2020 San Antonio housing market report. It's been a crazy year, right? I know, but guess what? As crazy as things have been, you would think that the housing market would be suffering. So much unemployment, so many people not being able to work and having to work from home. You would think that that would have a negative impact. But if you remember, look back in the videos that I did earlier this year, I told you the housing market was going to remain strong. Now, let's get to it, right? We love the numbers. So the first thing I need to tell you is whenever we compare markets, we compare it year over year. So the numbers that I'm going to give you are going to be for September 2019 and then September 2020, and we're going to compare them. The reason we do that is because real estate is cyclical. So, we have our peak season, which is spring. Everybody starts selling and buying homes. It goes all the way through the summer, and then it does kind of taper down a little bit. But regardless, that's how we can measure it, because year over year is kind of, the same cycle that it goes through. So anyhow, speaking of cycles, let's talk about 2019. And I have the notes here because, one, I don't want to lie, and I'm not going to commit this to memory. So anyhow, last year in September 1st through September 30th, these were the numbers. We had a total of 2,744 properties closed in that month. Not pending, not active, just closed. 2,744. And out of those, the average listing price, and there's a big difference here. I'm going to explain. The average original listing price was $287,000. What does an original listing price mean? So that means the agent discussed it with the client and they came to this original price. Now, a lot of clients that overprice their product later have to make adjustments because the market's not bearing what they thought it would sell for. So keep that in mind. Original listing price. The second one is the actual listing price, the average listing price closed. All right. So the average listing price closed, first off, let's go back. 287 for original listing price. Original listing price closed, that means that's what the transaction closed at, is 274,000. So already that's a 13,000 spread. So are they overpricing it? I think so, right? And I say this because, it happens all the time, but that's neither here nor there. Once it's closed, there's some things that happen. Texas is a non-disclosure state. So there's some things that happen in the transaction that are not disclosed to the general public. You have to be a realtor with the association to get access to this data. So what data am I talking about? It is concessions. Like, what does the seller give to the buyer in order to motivate them to buy the home? There's a lot of concessions that are given. It's a normal practice, right? But if you're overpriced and then you have to bring it down 13,000 and then you have to give concessions, that means that the price that you got for your home is not necessarily what your neighbor thinks that you got for your home. So I hear that all the time. Well, so-and-so sold their house the other day for 270,000. And I'm like, well, let me look it up. I'll tell you the truth because there could be some discrepancy there. But anyhow, the average sell price after concessions was 268,000. 268. So we started off at 287, the original listing price, and then it went all the way down to 268. And these are just averages, but hold on, because it's going to make a lot of sense here in a second. So the percentage of that is 93%. So if they listed it at X dollar, let's say 100,000, and then they got 93,000 for it. So they got 93%, 93 cents on the dollar for that transaction. The average days on market were 71. So that's a little bit over 2 months. That's not too bad, I guess, but things do, and that is an average. Some homes, I've had homes sell in a day or two. There's some homes that are on the market still and have not sold. So it's all dependent on the location, the price, the marketing, the condition, all that other stuff. We could talk about that some other day if you're interested in it. All right, fast forward to today. Well, last month, September. September, there was, remember, we're in the midst of a pandemic, so there's all this stuff going on, millions of people unemployed. So you would think, oh my God, the sky is falling. But here's one thing that remains true no matter what. People still need a place to live, right? So September 2020, a year later, we had a total of 3,335 homes closed. That means they were sold and closed in the month of September last month, just a couple of weeks ago. That is an increase of 22%. 22%. And I'm going to throw some other information at you. It's going to blow your mind. So we actually had, 22%. So we had an increase of 22% sales. Remember, this is year over year. So we're comparing last September to this September, and we went up 22% in sales. That's exciting. Now, what's really exciting is the next information I'm going to give you. The average original listing price for homes was $321,000. What? $321,000. So it went from $287,000 to $321,000. That's an increase of 12%. So those of you who are thinking, I don't know if I should buy because I don't know if my home's going to appreciate. I mean, this is just an average. So your home may be a little bit different, but the average sales price went up 12%. It gets more exciting. The average listing price closed, after negotiations and all that, was $316,000. That's a $5,000 difference. What does that mean? Well, there wasn't much to negotiate, and I'm going to share why here in a minute, why I believe in a minute. And then the average sale price after concessions and all that stuff went down. It was $311,000. That's the average. So let's compare last year to this year. Last year was $268,000 was the final end number, was the average, and $287,000 was the original listing price. So that is a $19,000 difference from the time that the agent and the client said, let's put it on the market at this price, to what they actually got. So $19,000. That's a lot of money, right? This year, it was $311 was the final price, average price, and $321 was the original listing price. So that was only $10,000. So half of the spread. So you're wondering why is this important? Why do I want to know? Well, it's important for you if you're a seller, right? Right now, we have such a shortage in inventory. I think we're down 30% year over year in inventory. What does that mean? That means there's not enough houses on the market and tons of buyers. How does that happen? Well, remember, a couple of things happened this year. COVID-19. So I personally had some clients that did not want to sell because they were concerned with the pandemic. They didn't want people coming into their homes and, maybe spreading some, this disease around. So they took their homes off the market. And there's a ton of people in San Antonio that are thinking the same way. So that means the inventory actually declined because people pulled out of the market. And then the other thing that happened is when the market went down, so did interest rates. So all these buyers that were waiting to buy a home are now chomping at the bit because their buying power has been increased hundreds of dollars a month. When the interest rates were 3.5% at the end of last year, now they're like 2%, 2.25%. That is a big spread when it comes to buying power. So people could afford more. The problem is there's not enough inventory out there. Motivated buyers, great interest rates, no inventory. That, my friends, is why homes are selling so quickly in San Antonio. And that is why if you see a home, if you're a buyer and you want to buy it, you better make a good, reasonable offer, because if not, you're going to lose out time and time again. If you're a seller, what are you waiting for? It's time to sell. This is the time to maximize. You could sell this home at a maximum profit and then turn around and buy your next home at a low interest rate. Sounds like a win-win to me. And the average days on market didn't move that much. It only moved 3 days. So now the average days on market in September were 68 days. So not too bad, right? But anyway, that's pretty much the market, what's happened. And I kind of led into the reasoning why I believe the market is so strong is because people still need a place to live, right? There's people still migrating here from California, not to mention all the military people PCSing here. They need a place to live. So I implore you, if you've had any thoughts of selling a home, now's the time. Give me a call. My information's down below. Send me an email, send me a text, send me a smoke signal. I don't care. I will get back to you so we can maximize your opportunity to sell a home in a crazy market. Think about it. January, well, not January, more like March, we thought the world was going to end. And here we are in October. Phenomenal numbers for September. Phenomenal opportunity for both buyers and sellers. What are you waiting for? All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. That's my market update. I hope it wasn't too lengthy, but there was a lot to talk about, and I hadn't talked about a couple of these things in a while. So if you have any questions about buying or selling, I'd love to help you. Again, my information's down below. Let me know. Send me a smoke signal, send me a text, send me an email, give me the good old-fashioned call, and yeah, we'll get to work. All right, guys, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next month on the market update.
And cut.
Good.